Hello, this is a demonstration video of a solo run as Executor doing the Dreglord Expedition. Just sort of an example of how you can do it. I got pretty lucky on this one. First, let's look at our relics. We're using the Forgotten Executor's Goblet with the Dark Knight of Miasma, the Will of the Balancers, and the Will of Balance. So the first one is important because it changes your sword to do frost damage, and then it turns you invisible. We'll see that. It's pretty important early game. Then we have melee attack and skill power up for the other two relics. Those are the main reasons that we have those. So let's get into this Dreglord Expedition. First, you got to jump on the table and then spin around. Okay, so the first thing we do is we're coming in, is we look at the map, and what we're looking for here is where are the churches, and is there a big merch or a township? We have a big merch, which is great. The churches are spread out really far, which is not great. So let's go into this first camp. In this camp, we'll see the Knight of the Miasma in action. There's the frost proc, and now I'm invisible, and none of these idiots know where I'm at. I'm visible again, but then as soon as I kill another guy, I'm invisible, and they just kind of ignore me. This comes in really handy in crowds, and that's why it's really good. And the early game lets you clear out the camp, even if there's rats, with no problem at all. This combination is really good on Executor because his weapon has bleed by default, and so you proc a bleed typically, and frost, and kills enemies pretty quickly. You'll see that later too when we later go into a blood camp. So right now I'm looking to see if I can see what the lake boss is, and I catch a tiny glimpse that it's the demi-human queen. So I'm going to try and get my level up. Right now we're at 2. I'll kill these guys and a couple more down the road, and we'll get to level 3. And then actually we get up to 4, which is nice, just by taking out these scrubs here. So again, as I'm going down to get the other guys, I'm trying to look at the lake and see who's there. Typically, if it's something that you can take out at low levels, that's perfect. In this case it was, which is nice. So I'm taking these guys out again with the invisibility, cloaking me as the next one wakes up and starts paying attention to me. In this case, these guys didn't even see me. I now have enough for level 3, so I'm going to the Site of Grace, take these dudes out, and I decide that I'm going to go in and look at this camp. I'm really, in these early stages, looting and trying to find specific passives. So, and in this case, stone sword keys, so that I can go and open up some Evergels down the road. Improved holy damage negation, that's no good for what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for really is improved item discovery, and everything else is anything else that helps me fight the Dreglord boss, which he's weak to fire, he's weak to bleed, he's weak to holy. So our ultimate goal here is to get some sort of weapon to do a lot of DPS in the end. I'm not really coming up with much here. I do also look for a couple of things that will give me damage negation. This halberd, I haven't really ever picked up a dragon halberd, so I was checking it out to see if maybe that would make a good final weapon against this boss. And it could, maybe. Neither of these. Well, there's a improved attack power at low HP, so I took that. Going up here, killing a couple more guys, and then I'm going to drop down into the lake. But before that, I'm going to look at a couple spots right here. Sometimes there's a chest that you can loot. Nothing there today. I'm going to go see what's here. I'm going to take out these slugs just to try and get some closer to leveling up to level 4. Right now we're at 3, and there's some more things we can kill nearby, plus the Site of Grace. So let's take out this dude. Take out his friend. Yeah. and one more to go. And we've already got enough for level 4, so that's great. So we're going to upgrade to level 4. I also check here for the bug to see if we can get a talisman, and we're lucky enough to have one there. Let's see what we get. Obviously, we're looking for something that'll help us with a future weapon, and that one's really good. So that is successive attacks improves. I believe it's the Hand of Millennia. I believe it says successive attacks improve your attack power, and then maybe I don't know. There's a secondary one too, but it's good. It's what we want. So as you can see, we're ripping and tearing through this boss. She doesn't even know we're in front of her until I become visible, and she figures it out. But it's too late. These are beasts in the beast category, so they're weak to fire and they're weak to bleed. And as you saw, we pretty much just took her out with no problem. Now I'm getting these guys. Always keeping in mind, so now we're going up. Now we're level 5. That's great. Let's see what we got in here. Improved guard counters, improved spell casting, improved physical damage negation. We'll take that. I'm looking for more passives. Again, some sort of improved item discovery. So later I'm going to check in the merchants to see if they sell a weapon that has some benefit that I'm looking for, a passive. I'm going to go to that church, but first I'm going to check for another talisman here. But I'm getting the Balancers event. So this is actually another good talisman. It restores my health upon successive attacks, so that's good because that's what we're doing. Anyways, the Balancers are pulling me in now, and I've got the Blood Camp, which is great. I have a stone sword, or a... well, right now I'm looking at the passives here. I don't see anything I like. I upgraded my my katana to blue. Typically in these camps up at the top chest, which we'll see in a minute, there's usually a smithing stone 2, and you can get your weapon up to purple. So yeah, I really love the Balancers. These, when you get these, this event in particular, it's nice because they're pretty easy to take out, even at lower levels. Plus, there's this effect where everything in pink is supposed to be fighting each other or fighting against, itself. It's hard to tell because these guys are pink by default, but this is a normal one. The dog and that big guy should have been fighting each other. They're fighting each other over there. Anyways, so it kind of keeps them off your back a little bit. Right now, I'm just trying to collect some money. Going up, here's the chest I was talking about. Let's open that up and see what we get. Sure enough, there's a smithing stone too. Range weapon attacks passive, which we don't want. So let's take this guy out so we can get invisible. These guys normally take about 4 hits at this level. Okay, so now we're invisible. Let's go find the Balancer. She's always in the same place up here. And took out another dude. Let's kind of clear out the way a little bit. Got a good opening and got a backstab, which is nice. And then I'm just kind of chopping my way through stuff. Got them all killed, which is nice. And I have enough to upgrade my level, but I need a Site of Grace, so we have to kill the boss. The boss is actually behind this guy. There he is. He's a little bit bigger. So I'm taking some hits, but I'm also creaming these guys. Look at this. 4 hits and a boss is out. That's great. So now I've got my Site of Grace and another item. Let's go check this item really quick. Improved attack power at full HP. I'm 7%. I'm looking around to see if it beats anything that I've got. No, not really. Let's see what's in here. You usually get blood weapons in these blood camps, which is good. Looking for the Rivers of Blood. It's not there, so I'll take the increased health. Already at level 8, still on day 1, which is good. I want to usually be around level 7 by the time I get to that first boss, the day 1 boss, but this is good. And the other Balancer is right nearby in this next camp over here, so this is a regular encampment. we're just going to be dealing with some, I think they're called, oh yeah, there you go, Royal Army Knights. It's just the sort of shield and spear guys or arrow guys. It's a real drag when you get this, and there's like a Leonite guy in here, because they're crazy. But I'm lucky and I get a pumpkin head here, which you'll see here. I start whacking away on the balancer and I got a critical, which takes him out, which is crazy. And now a few more hits here. I proc the frost, proc the bleed, but I don't get out of the way of this. It doesn't matter because she doesn't have much health left. Just a couple more hits. A little reckless there, but that's okay. Now, again, I'm in the same boat where I need another Site of Grace, but I get the power of the balance of the world, whatever. Power to balance the world, which is nice. Because in addition to the runes that I got, it also occasionally will bring me back to life. It's kind of like a random wending grace. Like, you can die, but then, and not have any, in a normal game where you don't have that, you'd be out. But sometimes they bring you back to life. And you can tell the difference between a regular one and one from the balancers, in that when the balancers bring you back to life, you come back with half health. Anyways, trying to take out these guys, trying to get the backstab. I can't. So I'm just kind of hacking and slashing a lot of R1s here because they come out fast and they do that. So it's good. While I'm here, I'm also going to check just about every piece of loot, but I know that the circle's going to start closing soon. So I'm kind of rushing around looking just for the obvious. Again, it's the that one's pretty good, but I was very interested in this because of the attack calls Vengeful Spirits. I thought the way that this would work is if I just hold it in my offhand, that it would happen as I'm, using my regular attacks. But it doesn't work that way, I guess. And it doesn't seem to work even when I attack with it. So I'm doing that here in a second. The next guy that comes up to me, I'll try and hit him with the thing. Again, nothing here that's too exciting, so I just take the stamina. But see, I'm trying to hit these guys with this thing. I get a couple, but he's already dead, so it doesn't proc the effects. Luckily, they're not doing too much damage to me. My health's in a pretty good place. But I still need to do the upgrade of my levels. Just looking around, can't find anything. And now the circle is closing, so I know I got to get out of there. But remember, I picked up that smithing stone too, so down here looking around for some more loot, and might as well take these guys out because I know what's going on next, which is after the day boss, I'm going to be going up to that township to see if they have a Rivers of Blood for sale, because that is typically where you see that. Either that or a Halo Scythe. Both of those are good options for this particular boss. So upgrade my blade to purple there. And now I'd like to upgrade my level to something higher, so I'm going to go for this Site of Grace. Hopefully I make it in time. There's also a church over there. And I remember thinking at the time, maybe I can go through here, get a little extra money from this guy. 2 hits, look at that. So good. Sometimes this is pretty good too, this item here. Nothing too good this time, so let's keep going. Checking the map again, and yeah, it's a... This blood camp is kind of a small one. Sometimes they're a little bigger when they're like the lightning camps, which I don't like as much because you're fighting the... I'm going to tank the zone here. You're fighting the Death Knights, and that's no fun. But as you can see, up to level 10, made it out of the zone, really no problem. I'll go back and get that church after this fight. Just made a marker so I can remember it. And on this expedition, I have 2 options here as a day boss to fight, and that is bears, which I happen to get, which are the easier of the 2. Again, I'm trying out this that weapon, but not a good option. So the best way to fight these guys is with the with your skill with the sun catcher. So just try and deflect, hit him in between. There we go, got a good deflect. But these guys, because I'm at level 10, oh yeah, sometimes the AI gets off a little bit and they switch. But typically they'll attack you one at a time. But because I'm level 10 here, they're two, look at this, one Suncatcher attack and this thing pretty much took all of his health. So block a couple more. I got a critical, so let's just do that, why not? And now the big one comes out. I'm gonna try to get into underneath it and behind it, so hit it a bunch of times. Was able to do that, and now gotta deflect this stuff. Luckily my Suncatcher's charged up, boom, took a big hit off of him, and now it's just kind of the same. Here comes some attacks. He's gonna do it again. I'm gonna jump. He has a similar attack that you're supposed to jump that I never get the timing right, and you'll see it here. Again, just trying to stay under him or to the side. There's his roar. He usually does it like when he gets halfway down. And now he gets a little bit more aggressive. There's that attack I was talking about. It hit me. So I gotta take a swig. Oh, I guess I decided to ult here, which I probably should have done earlier. But it was good because those hits staggered him, and that let me get a bunch more hits. So it's basically you get 15 hits, so 5, 5, and 5, and then one final sort of stab. And depending on the boss, most bosses and field bosses will be, if they're at halfway, you can kill them the rest of the way with your ult. So I usually save it for that. Anyways, I was going to say the other boss that you can get here besides the bears is the Death Knights, and those are the knights with the sort of long-handled axes, and they have lightning power. And those are bad, but I've gotten used to those guys. You can take them out. If you're level 7 and above, I've found it's okay. You can tank their hits a little bit better. If you're under that, it's really risky, and you have to watch out and deflect everything that they throw at you. Anyways, picked up the, what was it? The blood loss in vicinity raises attack power 20%, which is great as a passive. So now I'm making my way up to the, I want to make my way up to the township, but because I used the money I got from the bears, I only have 12,000, and that's not enough usually to buy what I'm looking for, which is, Rivers of Blood. So I'm going to check out the field bosses right there. We had a ulcerated tree spirit. Those take way too long, so I'm going to skip that. What I want to try to do is get up to the township with some money, buy what I need to buy, and then head down to the castle and fight as many field bosses on the way as I can. So the luckiest I get is when I'm in the basement of the castle fighting that basement boss. I've gotten the Rivers of Blood there way more times than anywhere else. So here I decide I'm going to take on this Evergel, and I got lucky. This guy is pretty easy and quick to kill if you don't mess up like me. So I decide, oh yeah, I should really be using the Suncatcher, because I can deflect everything he throws at me, including those sort of spirit, that right there. You can deflect that, so that's great. I'm not doing too good because if you look at my health, I'm about halfway down, and I think it gets down pretty far before I decide to take a chug. Get the critical there, that's great. Again, I'm not really, I think I'm just kind of, thinking about those guys in the blood camp and how you can just kind of R1 them to death. You can't really do that with this guy. So I decided I'm going to take the money because, you know why? We're at 37,000 now. That's okay. Usually Rivers of Blood or Halo Scythe will be a top tier, the highest priced weapon. And those are typically like 46,000. So let's check this talisman. and it's nothing I can use. So we're going to check these guys. I've gotten some crazy pickups here. This time, nothing great. Well, nothing I can use against this boss. So I'm heading for the tree over here. So hopefully I can get up there and get on that spirit hawk and get up to the township quickly. Here I'm checking out that weapon, decide I don't need this, throw it out. And here we are. Again, and while I'm on this ride, I'm going to take a look and see if I can see what's on top of the castle. Too far away though this time, it doesn't show. I can't really see anything on the ground. But that's okay, because we're going up to the township. I'll be looking at the map here in a minute, and there is a field boss right near it. And I want to take a look and see if I can tell what boss that is, and if it's the right kind of boss, I can jam over there and kill it really quick. I mean, I'm close. I'm at 41,000, and there's some chaff around there, but this, just to the right of there, is where that field boss typically is. And then the church is up there too. So we're looking, and you can see it populate right there. That's a Miranda flower. That's perfect. There's the township. I'm going to go fight that Miranda flower. You know, part of this also is knowing, like, part of it's not just how you fight the enemies, but how well do you know the maps. Again, this is just a standard map, so I'm used to this layout. It would be a different story if I was in the I don't even know what it's called. It's the DLC map that has the crystals. If I was there, that would be a totally different route, obviously, and I still don't really have that one mapped out in my mind, but this one I have pretty good. So took out all the little guys. Now we're just going after the big one. A couple more hits, and we'll have like that defeated, which is great because now we're at 63,000. We can level up. We got a magic katana there, but I decided I'm going to take more runes from defeated enemies, and I almost accidentally leveled up there. So glad I didn't. So now we're going to the township. Let's see what he has for sale. Worst case, if there's nothing good, then you can get another pouch and like a Wending Grace. But let's go take a look. Oh, there it is. Rivers of Blood. Give it to me. I'm also going to get a Wending Grace, and I'm out of money. So now that we have a Rivers of Blood, we need to look for passives that help that out. We don't really get them here. Improved charge attacks, and then FP restoration if you're using the seal, but we wouldn't be. So anyways, yeah, we're looking for things that are going to preserve FP. We're looking for things that are going to raise our skill attack power, because we're going to be using the Ash of War, the skill. Looking down here for another talisman, nothing there. But we're looking good. We're going to go over to the church, get another flask. We're going to rearrange our weapons a little bit so that we're holding the rivers in our primary hand. And then we'll see what the circle's doing. I know that there's a fire camp with the fire chariots around here, and I almost go to it, but the circle's closing, and you can see it right there. That's an easy place to go to, but I found that if the circle's closing in, it's just a little too much. And now that I've got what I need, I don't want to risk too much here. I want to take calculated risks. That jump right there, I took a look at the field boss that's over to the right, and it was a gargoyle, which I don't like. I don't like these either, but with rivers, I mean, look at that. We're down to halfway now. Granted, I'm so used to fighting these guys with this particular boss with the Suncatcher that I rookie move it there and forgot to dodge. I think I actually tried to block or deflect, but it's okay because you respawn really close, and really it's only going to take like one or two more rivers, corpse piler, Ash of Wars, and he'll be gone. So then we can move on to the basement boss. Got my runes back. One more of these. Miss or jump back. Okay, now this is a sign that he's doing the big magic attack. Watch that. Boom, 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 boom. Oops. Ouch. There we go. Now he's going. That was pretty quick. Not too bad. Let's see what we got. Race while walking. I really like that, but really I'm in kind of a hurry, and I don't think I want to give anything else up. It's almost like glint blades. So I'm not going to take that. I just took the default of improved incantations. I'm going to skip the boss that's over there to the left, and I'm going to make my way down to the basement. Here I'm kind of cutting in this way so I can see if there's another talisman, which there is, but I don't see it, and I run right by it right there. But I'm going to the site of grace so that I can level up. That red wolf really didn't give me enough for a whole level, but we got our level back that we were at. That's okay. Let's go down to the basement and see what it is. There's certain bosses where Rivers is really going to score for us, and so just in case it's one of those bosses, I picked up that little rune bonus there, and luckily enough, it is. This guy is so weak to the corpse piler. Look at this. It staggers him, which it doesn't do to a lot of people, or a lot of enemies. So one more hit, you're dead. And let's see what we get. And that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. The basement is where I see Rivers the most. So critical hit, FP restoration 10%. I think I'll pass, and I'll just take another Rivers. And now I've got 2. And that'll work out. I mean, you can only use the corpse piler from one of them, obviously. You can't do 2 of those at the same time. But you can do the power stancing with 2 fire blood katanas. So that's really good. And then looking at these talisman, there's not really anything here that's better than what I've got. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to go check out the boss on the top of the castle. But I know that time is running out. So I'll also, while I'm up there, there's a merchant, and I can see if he's got anything that has a passive that'll help me out here. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to check it out, looking for some kind of FP or skill, and there doesn't seem to be anything really in there. Get out of here. Let's take another look. All these passives, none of them really help us, so I'm just going to move on, I think. Oh, I think I'm going to buy the Wending Grace. Yep, which is good, because turns out I'll need it later, probably. At least I think. So here we go, second day. Let's go. The circle's closing, so we're on the final boss. And we got Loretta up here, which would be great if I could land a hit. Trying to do corpse piler here, but I get overwhelmed and now I'm screwed. Except, hey, that's the balancer's benefit right there. So I'm just gonna get out. And you can tell, look at my health, it's at half, right? So that was an extra life basically that we got from defeating those balancers. That's that power of the world of balance the world, whatever it's called. So now here's our tree. We still have, really we're at level 12, and I want to be a little higher, and I want to have some more money. So what can we do? There's actually one more boss that we can probably hit. It's a field boss that's always over by this Evergel, and there's also a church right there. So I'm thinking that maybe I can make it to the church, and maybe I can then go take out that field boss before I fight the final boss of the day. And this final boss can be one of 2. It's either going to be the dancing dragon, or it's going to be Aturius of the Deep. And I'm not a fan of either of those guys. The Dancing Dragon is so chaotic and uses so many different types of status effects, like you know, lightning and frost and wind, and it's just a very difficult fight sometimes. Anyways, but Artorias, that's a hard one too, because he hits really hard, and you have to deflect perfectly or he'll knock you down and kill you. So anyways, looking for this field boss, and it's right there. There we go. It's the Black Knife Assassin, which is just about perfect because they are also very weak to that corpse piler. The problem, of course, is that I get grabbed here, which, you know, not too bad, halfway down my health. But the good thing is that they chase you down, so I can keep going towards the center where the tree is, if I can keep track of where I'm at, and they'll chase me. Now I'm down to no FP, which ain't great, but boom, 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 you're dead. So, okay, let's see what we got. Again, nothing great, so I'm going to take the resistances up and get into the final boss. Here's a little FP restore. Boom, we got that. Not much, but okay. And based on these bozos, I've got Artorias to contend with as my final boss. So I'm sort of prepping in my mind, what am I going to do? Doing the power stance move here, and for each enemy I defeat, I get a little bit of health back, which is perfect because it saves me from using a flask, which, you know, I don't have full flasks in this case because I did a little bit of tanking the zone with that last enemy. But yeah, this is good. Getting through these guys with just by hitting L1, and it gives me a little bit back, and then actually by the time the boss comes, I'm back to full health, which is neat. Don't usually get lucky that way. Some close calls there, and there he is. And look, my health is back to normal, my FP is back up, and that's from the Balancer's Relic, actually. One of them slowly restores your FP. So, doing some deflections here, doing pretty good. I'm going to try to do the wombo combo. Boom. And it does okay. So, the trick here is stay hydrated. Make sure your health is topped off there. I've only got 3 more charges though, so gotta watch that. But also getting a stagger like that's good because, as you can see, I can whip out the rivers of blood and try to take him out that way. Although it didn't really look like it did too much damage on him, I don't think he's I think he's probably resistant to bleed, maybe fire too. Because he's, I guess, lore-wise, he's kind of a ghost or something, I don't know. Anyways, more deflecting. I decide I'm just going to deflect because I'm out of FP anyways. So let's try and stay alive. That last time that I got revived, it was actually a regular one. It wasn't the Balancers. And you can tell that because I've got full health instead of half. And I get another stance break, which is great. Those, which is cool too. Now he's about halfway down, so I can probably get him all the way down if I use my ult, but I'm going to wait until this whole cycle here is over. As you can see, there's sort of missiles coming out. I got to get away from those. They only go so far, so if I keep moving, I'll eventually outrun them. Now the trick is, let's stay alive long enough to do our ult, which we couldn't. This time the Balancers brought us back. And luckily I blocked that, or deflected it. I gotta get out of these bushes so I can see what he's doing. Good thing about him, now that I've been fighting for a while, these are grab attacks, so I gotta watch out. But I guess the AoE got me. One thing that's good about him now that I've fought him a lot is that his attacks are really telegraphed and really slow to hit. So he has long windups for his attacks, and then while his attacks are coming, they're not super speedy. So I did some pretty good damage there. I got another stance break, which is cool, and that took him out, which I was not expecting, so it's pretty great. And now we're on to the final boss. So this guy, oh, he dropped something gold. Let's see what that is. I thought maybe I'd get some extra money there, but that's not the way it works. Let's take a look. Improved stance breaking, increased maximum HP, and another Wending Grace. So I was debating between those two last ones. I decided to take the Wending Grace because it's an extra life. Why not? And here's my loadout. This is what we're looking at. Let's go to the final stage and check it out. So the Dreglord, the final boss, I've been learning his moveset. The problem is that, you know, to get to him, because I'm playing on a PS5, every time you want to fight him, you have to actually play for 45 minutes and not die. So and also playing as Executor over and over again, really it's about learning movesets and what works and what doesn't. And I died a lot, and so I've probably played this mission or this expedition like over 100 times, and out of those 100 times I've probably made it to the final boss like 6 or 7 times. So I've probably played this boss less than 10 times in my entire gameplay cycle, not just solo missions, but with others. And I'm finally learning his moveset. So, okay, first things first, we're going to buy some Starlight Shards so we can keep that Rivers of Blood going. We're going to get another Wending Grace, then let's level up. Level 13, not exactly where I want to be, but that's okay. And then we'll get a bubble, and we'll just take that before we go in. And yeah, so usually when I'm playing solo, I'll get to this point. If I have some weapons that I'm not sure about how they are, sometimes they'll be better for the boss I'm fighting. So I take a look and I do a little experimenting here, and I try out their Ashes of War. And so in this case, the dragon's halberd is really the only one that I'm interested in. So I'll arm that. Oh yeah, and then you go here and you can kind of see under armaments what each one does and which one does the most damage. But so there it is, the dragon's halberd, and this is the Ash of War, and that's pretty sweet. I mean, it's actually 2 cycles, but it uses up a lot of FP. It uses probably about as much as Corpse Piler does, but I think Corpse Piler probably does more damage, especially to this boss. So I think I'm gonna just stick with the Corpse Piler. But yeah, I think I'm about ready now. There's the power stance move, so I'll be doing some of those. I'm also going to use my regular katana because it's got that move set where it frosts up the enemy, makes you invisible. So I'm going to try and proc that first. So right now, deciding what I should take, I'm going to take the bubble right now, the tear, and then I'm going to take one of these items back with me. Oh, it looks like Exalted Flesh. So that Exalted Flesh is good because it raises your physical attack power, and because the katana, Rivers of Blood, does fire damage, that basically cuts the physical damage in half of a regular katana, and you get half fire and half physical. But if you use Exalted Flesh, it raises that physical up a little bit, so it's good. So we're going to pop it right here at the beginning. Again, it's kind of about knowing the moveset of the bosses. This guy, his moveset's pretty erratic. He's very fast and kind of relentless. And hits hard. So I was told stay to your right, so his left, because he's got his weapon in his right hand, and that arm swings at you, but it doesn't always reach. So I'm trying that tactic here. Just a lot of dodging, and then there we go. I proc the frost, but he pulls out this maneuver as soon as I turn invisible, which you don't want to be right by it. You have to dodge that. So now this is what I was gonna do when I was invisible, but I was able to still get one in. And now after his like temper tantrum, I can do another one because he stops moving around. And now he's doing the big meatball, the mountain of meat or whatever. And you should dodge that too when it explodes. I think I was out of range, but now we can go back in. You just have to watch out for these sort of geysers coming up. So again, dodging, but these zombies are kind of coming in after me. But I'm doing the corpse piler again, or I guess I'm doing the power stancing. So really it's just a bunch of kind of like lucky dodging, and now it's corpse pile again. Pretty good. One more. There we go. We're done with the first phase. Now that's really fast, and that's how it should go. Again, it's because, I don't think it's because I have 2 Rivers of Blood. I think it's just because I'm using the Rivers of Blood, and it's specifically the corpse piler at the right moments. So now we're going to be in the second phase, and I'm not very familiar with it because I usually die before I get there, and this time I didn't. But let's see what else we can do. I know when he does this initial lure, you can get right up on him and hit him, but he takes less damage. But still, you know, get a few hits in here. Unlike the other roars from the other bosses, this one doesn't really damage you. So same tactic. I've got my other katana arm to try and proc that frost. I get bonked there, and then the bouncers bring me back. I'm actually doing okay as far as getting hit and being able to tank it. I must have some sort of like physical damage negation that's really kicking in. I know that I got that as one of the benefits from defeating a boss or something, a Evergel boss. Anyways, a whole lot of dodging here. Actually, when he's doing this spaz attack, you can just stand still and he won't hit you at all. A little crazy trick that I forgot about when I was fighting him, but it's possible because I've done it before. But we got him halfway down here, which is great. I got 4 flasks left. Still have enough FP for corpse piler 1 or 2 more times, and then I have another starlight shard. But now he's doing this attack where he goes up on the thing. I've seen it where you can deflect it. I missed it there. I missed that deflect too. But remember, I've got Wending Graces, and this one was from a Wending Grace, I believe. I've got 3 of them, so it's great. So deflecting a couple of those, which is pretty cool, and whipping out that attack. I think now I'm going to actually go for my ult, because I keep getting thrown back and getting half my health taken away. Yeah. So unfortunately during this stage he's, has a little bit of protection, and then he jumps away. But if I just keep going as the beast mode, I'm able to land that final blow, which is cool. So now we're going to get back on some corpse piler here if I can dodge him properly. And it's doing a lot of damage. It's great. Popped another starlight shard, but here comes the meatball mountain. We gotta get out of there. Not sure if I live through this. Oh, I dodged it. Wow. Pretty cool. So wait for him to come to me, just kind of running around. He's doing the spaz thing a little bit. Gonna dodge into him, but he goes for this mode again. So let's just try and... Oh, well, it's not the full one where he goes from tower to tower. So now I'm just trying to dodge and do a little more damage. And look at this, we're right at the end, and I'm like, yeah, one more corpse piler, let's go, boom! And he's dead. Very excited about that. He can go straight to hell, and I'll see him there. So there you go. Solo run of the Dreglord Expedition. I did it all by myself. And here's a little quickie of all the gear that I've got. Still got 2 of those Wending Graces left. There's my crazy sloppy route. And again, sort of a review of the equipment. But you can do it. I mean, I was at level 13, right? I really got lucky on the rolls, though. Getting a corpse piler and then getting 2, that's just outrageous. I've had some earlier runs where I got a corpse piler and I got all of the skill attack power-up stuff, and it was great, and it was doing serious damage. But when you do like mega tons of damage on a boss, typically that boss will immediately do some sort of nuclear move to take you out. Anyways, that's it. All done. We'll catch you on the next one, and hopefully this helps out. Bye.